God, we're worn out. It's been a busy day, as if y'all didn't notice. All right, so let's see if we can see me, hear me, do the whole thing, and we'll go from here. Start with the craziness that today was. Wait to see if I can see me. There's Grammy Lawrence's 5x5. Here comes my screen. Lorna, yes, we are on subscriber only. Pennsylvania Mama Bear, Harbor Prepper, Mary, Christian Prepper, Lucky Dame, Robert. Okay, cool. You guys can see me. Good deal. Greetings, everybody. Happy Friday or Tuesday. Yeah, it feels like a Friday, doesn't it? I mean, usually Thursdays or Fridays are the days that I go absolutely insane with videos because that's when all the news comes out. And today, of course, it was just, okay, here's something else going on. So, yeah, I was like, start off this morning with that whole typhoon thing, and then knew the CPI numbers are coming out. And if you're watching the stock market this morning, stock market futures before the CPI numbers were up about 200 points, indicating a relatively strong open for the market. CPI numbers came out, and of course, inflation was up, and the market turned around. And in case anybody didn't notice, just the wonderful day the stock market had, the Dow was down almost 4%. The S&P was down over 4%, and the NASDAQ was down over 5% today. Good day, 1,200 points down, 1,200 plus points down on the Dow. And we got a week to go till the Fed meeting, which is going to be fun because where there was an outside chance of a three-quarters of a percent hike by the Fed next week, now that's baked in, and now there's a 47% chance of a full percentage point rate hike. So variable rate, whatever you got, it's going up, guys. That's any surprise to anybody. The funniest part about all that is the White House had planned today, because today was the number CPI numbers came out, they had planned to do a celebration of the Inflation Reduction Act today. And Joe was supposed to give a speech going, yay, look, it's already working. Except inflation went up. That tells you how out of touch and clueless this administration is. Okay, but that was it. So we got into that, and then I don't even remember what else I did today. What was the next one that came up? Where the hell was I? Let's see. We had a CPI. Oh yeah, then the People's Garden. That was a interesting shocker. And I know a few of you said in there in the comments that that household gardens aren't included in this. Except there was one line that left that open, where it says gardens or whatever in urban, suburban, and rural areas. Okay. There aren't a whole lot of city parks in rural areas. Okay. So, urban areas, there's not a whole lot of garden space. When you have an empty lot where they were burning tires last week and somebody says, hey, let's put a garden here. We can just take all that chemicals and put it in our food. Yeah, it's coming to gardens, guys. So if you didn't see that one, I mean, I wasn't the only one to talk about it. A few of you guys sent me emails that Doug and Stacy talked about it, that Christian talked about it. That People's Garden, like the People's Republic of China. Okay. I mean, you want to put a communist name on it, go ahead and call it the People's Garden, just crazy. Yes. No, sorry. Nobody's coming over here and taking any food out of my garden unless I give it to them. They walk out of here, they aren't taking any food. They may take a couple of lead slugs, but that's their choice. So, sorry, not going to happen. And then, of course, I just got sick and tired of listening to the news, and I figured, okay, you know what? It's 120 days today. I could have waited. I was planning on waiting till this weekend. I'm like, screw it. You know what? It's a nice, cool day out today. I'm going to go pick my sweet potatoes, and I wanted to show you guys that because I know a lot of you guys have been asking about that. And it was just funny because that very first, after the teeny one, that very first real potato I pulled was that monster one that looked like a brain. It's like, that is by far the biggest sweet potato I have ever grown. But yeah, so then it was get inside and spend the rest of the afternoon cleaning and cooking and canning and doing all that. So after breaking the one jar, I got 2 canner loads. So I got 13 jars of Sweet potatoes done. So that was it. But, that's 4 hours worth of just canning time right there. But that was done. So good haul. So I got some sweet potatoes to put up on the shelves. Make me and Mrs. P a happy camper. I had another video, and it was you guys giving me crap about how many videos today. I mean, in play, I understand that. I actually had another one that was going to go up at lunch besides the sweet potatoes. So that one you'll get to see at lunch tomorrow. That one will just piss you off, okay? Because it's more on the energy crisis, I guess, if we have, and kind of debunking the whole Russia bullshit story, which you guys might want to find that interesting. Also, for those of you that are here, I don't know how many of you guys are here. I'm on the wrong screen. There's only 900 people tonight. Small crowd. I'll give you all the heads up on this. If you are looking for a solar generator, tune in tomorrow morning. Talked to Elliot today. Best price ever on a 1300 coming out tomorrow. Okay. So actually cheaper than what they were selling the refurbished ones for 6 months ago. But I can give you guys the details on that tomorrow. Reason being is EcoFlow has come out with the Delta 2, which is the upgraded, or the new model, if you will, of the 1300. And I've already looked at the specs and everything, and Elliot's going to send me one to review and give away everything. We'll do that again at either end of this month, beginning of next month when they come out. But I've already looked at the specs. It doesn't seem like there's a couple of differences on it, but nothing that's going to make anybody go, "Oh my God, I've got to upgrade" or something like that. So, but it's the next in line. That's all it is. Just like any other company, they're going to make some changes to it. But no, you know me, I still swear by that 1300. I think that is for pretty much everybody. That is the best solution for what you can get, because they aren't that expensive. You need multiple ones, and so you can use one while you're charging one, and they work. So still my favorite generator out there. What else happened today besides those crazy things? Oh yes, the other one I wanted to bring in, because I got a lot of emails on this today. There was a comment made by one of the German ministers yesterday about September 24th is going to be a day that everybody will remember where they were. Yippee. I can say the same thing. All right. When this guy was comparing it to 9/11s, and just like everybody remembered where you were there when Kennedy was shot or something like that, unless Germany plans on declaring war or something like that, I'm not seeing that happening. Okay. This guy's just probably making up stuff. I mean, this is the rumor mill on steroids. So until there is anything concrete about it, I'm going to think of it as this guy's running around with the sandwich board on, going, the end of the world is nigh. Okay. He's one guy. Nobody else has said anything about it. We'll see. If something happens, okay, fine. Call the guy a prophet. I don't know. Okay. I'm not putting any money down. I'm not calling up Vegas and saying, what are the odds on this? Let's put it that way. The fool and his money are soon parted. So I ain't buying it. All right. So that's kind of it. They're just kind of touch on everything. It was a crazy day for me, obviously, with the sweet potatoes, doing that, dealing with contractors, making a boatload of videos. I'm worn out, so you can imagine. But hence, y'all know the feeling too. It's like, prepping, it takes a lot of work, and then I add this to it. It's like, okay, Mrs. P is like, can you handle all this? I'm like, hey, I'm doing it anyway. I mean, it might as well, it's like, want to show everybody, this is how you do something, or this is how this works or doesn't work, or this is what's going on in the world. I don't need to do it twice. No sense in canning all the potatoes and then say, this is how you do it. I'd rather just do it all at the same time. So there you go. All right, let's get into Q&A, which is the fun part, of course. For those of for those of you that are new, welcome to the party. If I can deal with stay awake long enough. Couple of things. If you got questions for me, just like every other channel, please put them all in all caps. That way I can see them. If you want to have conversations with everybody else, please feel free. Just do it in lowercase. Understand we've got a small crowd tonight of 1,100 people in here, but the moderators have to read every one of those comments. And, as usual, I thank them very much for what they do. Jacob North Shore, Mammy, Lorna, Lucky Dame, Robert, and Cat Lady Life are in here on their time, trying to keep it safe, family friendly, and good fellowship for all of us. Okay, keep the riffraff out of here. So thank you to all of them. In regards to that, please treat everybody in here with respect, guys. That's all I ask. Differing opinions are totally acceptable. I don't care. Just none of these start name calling and all that, arguing and fighting in the chat. That's a good way to get yourself broomed real quick. Okay, if you, like I've said every time, I don't care if you're the staunchest Joe Biden supporter out there. I don't know why you're here, but that's totally fine if you want to do that. There's more than one way to skin a cat. Nobody's going to say, well, you did this with your sweet potatoes and you're supposed to do it this way. No, there's more than one way to skin a cat. Okay. So, yes, if you've got another idea, hey, suggest it, but don't start telling somebody, you're doing it wrong. No, they're doing what works for them. So, all right, let's get into this. I'm going to get up to the top on the screen here and we will go through and see what y'all want to talk about tonight. So, as we go up to the top, we will go through and look for questions. All right. Pam said, received the dehydrator today, heavy duty. I'm giving it a workout this weekend. Thank you. You're most welcome. Congratulations on winning that. So if y'all remember, Pam a week or so ago was the one that won the Kosori food dehydrator. So yes. And like I said, there's more coming up. So, whatever's the latest and greatest is kind of what Elliot and I talk about. So, Huts John, damn, Mr. P, you handled that meat cleaver today like an expert. Did you attend Lorena Bobbitt School of Advanced Meat Cutting? Okay, you win the comment contest for tonight. That's hilarious. No, and trust me, I'm not playing around with those two things anywhere near each other. Let's just leave it that way. But yeah, no, yeah. I've filleted plenty of fish in my life and worked with plenty of knives in my life. That's not a big deal to, there we go. So, knives. Okay. Let's see. Lorena Bobbitt. Okay. How do you bring Lorena Bobbitt into a prepper conversation? You figured it out. Have I ever read the book Atlas Shrugged? Yes, that was back in high school. So that would, let's see, I was a sophomore in high school. So that would have been 1982. Yeah, it's been a while. Debs, that was the biggest sweet potato I've ever seen. That's the biggest sweet potato I've ever grown, too. I don't know. That thing had to weigh 6 pounds. I mean, that thing was big. I mean, literally, it was the size of my dog's head. Okay, it was the size of Copper's head. Copper's a big boy. So, and like I said, it broke. There was more to it. And it was right below the surface, too. The stem was right there on that one. Trust me, it shocked me when I pulled it out. If you saw the expression on my face, I'm like, holy crap. Okay, let's going on along. Still stuck on Lorena Bobbitt. That one's going to stick around for a while. Elaine Pruden, it's like the government has been listening to you on the garden. Tell me about it. Yeah, gee, everybody garden. Government's like, hey, something else we can steal from the people. We need to feed all these illegals. There's people with gardens. Hey, go ahead, try. Better bring a body bag. Never too old to learn. Can I talk about Comfrey as a cover crop? Okay. Comfrey is not a cover crop. Comfrey will grow. I've got comfrey out in the backyard. All right. And first off, if you're going to plant comfrey, make sure you plant the seedless variety. I think it's Bocking 4 and Bocking 14 are the two varieties that you want. Comfrey is a large perennial plant. And what you'll do in the fall, I mean, the leaves on it are, what could I compare size to? Like kale, maybe, or something like that. I mean, you're going to have good sized leaves on this. I mean, mine are very big. And what you'll do is you'll cut the leaves back. And if you remember last year when I showed you how to make the compost tea soup that I put in the trash can when I was showing homemade fertilizers, comfrey is excellent for that. But comfrey is not a cover crop. It's actually an ornamental that you plant in the yard somewhere and just go cut it back in the fall, let it stew over the winter, and you'll have some exceptional fertilizer in the spring. I mean, literally, you could have exceptional fertilizer in a week. But if you've got fall plantings, you're cutting back your comfrey now, go for it, use it. Okay, no problem. But you'll have it, make 55-gallon drum of it, and you'll have fantastic fertilizer. I will warn you though, it stinks like I'm gonna try to be polite. Stinks. It makes horse manure smell like roses. Let's put it that way. But it's probably one of the best things. Comfrey and stinging nettle are probably the two best things that you can put in a bucket of water and stew and turn into fertilizer. Okay. Porch Goose Prepper. When am I going to have Elliot on a live stream? We need to thank him. I've asked him to come in the chat all the time. I mean, I've never seen him. I mean, I've never talked to him verbally or anything like that. Everything's via email, stuff like that. But I've asked him many times, hey, come on in and, join the party, when we do the giveaway. He said a couple of times he might try, but he just hasn't made it. So, Paula Deach, have I ever grown cucumber lemon? I did this year. Happened to run across them really good. No, I have not. I've heard of them, but I have never grown one. So I don't. The thing is this, guys, I don't grow that many different things. I mean, there's probably a variety of about 30 different things I grow, and that's it. 5 different kinds of tomatoes, a couple of different kinds of cucumbers, whatever would be beans, because most of what I try to grow is something that stores very well, because that's the point of my gardening. Now, I mean, everybody's different again. Sure, we eat fresh tomatoes like crazy, fresh cucumbers like crazy, okay? But what I grow is a lot of what I can store. Yeah, I grew some melons this year. We got a few melons off of it, and they get eaten fresh. I mean, that's it. I love melons, and it's like, okay, crack one open, that's my breakfast. But a lot of like lettuce and things like that, I don't grow it because, I mean, if I grew a couple of heads of lettuce, it's about all I need, and that's just something else that I've now got to take care of at different intervals or whatever. So I focus more on my gardening is focused on things that I can store. And so, a lot of these things, when you guys are asking me if I've ever done it, I haven't, because it's just not how I focus my gardening. Wolf Fang, okay, I'm slow. What is 5x5? 5x5 means you can see me and hear me clearly. So. Kenneth Oliver, how many solar panels will I need for the Delta Pro? It depends on the wattage that the solar panel can put out. I mean, there's 100-watt solar panels. There's 400-watt solar panels. Off the top of my head, I can't remember what the input is for the Delta Pro. But if you look in, what is it? Is it 4,000? Hang on, let me look. I hate when I should know something and I don't, because you guys ask, and that's kind of, there we go. 1,600 watts, is that what I just saw? Oh, come on. I need all the damn graphics. That's output. What's the input? So you have to ask a question like this. It takes a while to ask. Let's try a different way. Input. 1600 sounds right, though. 1600 watt input. Yeah, so depending on the solar panels you have, if you go to Harbor Freight and get their little cheap 100 watt hard panels, you're going to need 16 of them. If you use the 120 watt foldable ones that I use for my 1300s and stuff like that, yeah, you're going to need about a dozen of those. With the Delta Pro, I would probably suggest finding 400 watt panels if you want to do it. And yes, it's something I've got to keep adding to my collection, if you will. I got to get this damn garage done because part of the point, the way I faced the garage was so I had a south-facing roof, so I can put hard panels up on this side of the roof, so I can charge those out in the garage, and then I can bring them into my utility room, I guess, for lack of a better word. All right, let's get back to where we were. So sorry it took so long on that one. Jay Myers, with that sweet potato that you called a brain, you can send it to Biden. Yeah, there you go. It was Joe's brain. Should have taken a picture of it and put a picture that said that in Joe's brain. Sweet. Joe ain't sweet. I needed one that looked like yeah, you know what I'm saying. Let's see. Don't know if there's any children around. Laura Seltzer, funny you mentioned it. Look back at your prior video. What solar panels do you use? Okay, so again, this is going to be personal preference for everybody. The best foldable panels I have found on the market are the 12 CVAN 120 watt panels. The reason I say they're the best is because, sure, there's 160 watt panels that'll charge a generator faster than these, okay? However, just because something will take up to 160 watts doesn't mean that's what you're going to get. 120 watt panels, most I've ever got out of them is about 95, 96 watts, okay, on a bright sunny day. They're not going to go up to 120. They're not going to go up to max, just not going to happen. But the reason I say those are the best is they are the most durable and they are the most stable when you set them up. They all have these little fold-out flaps that you hold them up on. And if you look at a lot of these, you can't get it nice and straight because, it'll curve on a side or whatever. Remember, you're trying to get that perfect line from the sunlight into it. And if you're tipped a little bit, that's going to reduce your solar input. The 12 CVAN ones that I found are the ones I can get a perfectly straight flat panel out of. That's one of the reasons there. If they get wet, they're not going to have problems. They have the connectors included with them that I like. So you're not trying to start piecemealing things together and stuff. They're literally plug and play. And I want portable because if something happens and I've ever got to bug out, bugging out and having hard panels on the house is useless. I can't take them with me, okay? But I can throw a couple of portable panels in the truck and a solar generator, and if I'm out of here, I know it somewhere, wherever I'm going to be, I could have a little bit of power. Personal opinion, just saying. Will I have hard panels on the garage roof? Yes. That'll be to support my Delta Pros that will support the house, that I've got the smart panel for, so I can wire into the house so I can run like my water pump and stuff like that. That's the purpose there. The 1300s for me, the purpose of that is totally portable. So, and again, it's everybody's situation is going to be different and how they plan for it. ate dinner before this, what your budget is, I mean, big difference if somebody lives in a 1-bedroom apartment or a 12-bedroom house, what they're going to need in the way of generator panels, et cetera, et cetera. Okay. Mo Prepper, inflation. We have a new definition of inflation. Yeah, it's, the ability to Joe's ability to lie. Okay. It's getting bigger, bigger, and bigger, and bigger. Kamala's stupidity. That's inflating. Did you see her interview the other day where she told, who's it, Chuck Todd, I think it was, on Sunday morning news shows, that the southern border is secure. And even Chuck Todd, who's about as liberal as you can get, looked at her and goes, really? You actually said that? Mama T, Christian, meaning Ice Age Farmer. I haven't seen anything by him lately. I'm guessing as a new channel. He actually is doing it on his own website anymore. He's finally just left YouTube altogether. Laura Raymond, it sounds like he misspoke and said September 24th instead of February when Russia invaded Ukraine. Yeah. Let's see. John Fort Wengler, how are the garage and pond going? The pond hasn't done anything because the guy who was supposed to be fixing it, who dug it in the first place wrong, doesn't answer phone calls, doesn't answer emails, doesn't do anything. The garage is now fully sided and roofed. I'm waiting on, I think the next thing that we're waiting for is the guy to bring the car garage door. I've got the man door, but not the one to pull the car in. So I think that's what's next. Then I think after that's in, I think the last thing, well, not the last thing, but the next thing I think that at that point is paint. So, and we'll see how that one works, because Mrs. P says, we can paint it. And I'm like, crap, that means I'm climbing a ladder out there. And I'm like, no thanks, but we'll see. So depends on what the paint guy says he wants for it. Tony Joya, can I give my thoughts on the FedCoin Biden bucks? Dang, I hate saying that name. Yeah, I've done a couple of videos on this, on the whole December 13th thing. It ain't happening, okay? There's no way, you can just switch a little bit of software in a credit card machine, it's done. No, it ain't happening that way, okay? It's not that easy. You are not going to change the bank-to-bank money transfers. You are not going to change how the stock market operates. I mean, for the little piddly things of how you pay your babysitter, sure, that might be easy, okay? But how corporate finance works, you don't just change the entire financial system in 3 months. It won't happen. So that's just what I'm saying. If I'm wrong, I'll eat my hat, okay? But there's no way they can get that in place by, was it December 3rd or December 13th or something like that. It's just, it's not feasible. We've been talking about solar power for the world for how long? We've been talking about electric cars for how long? Gee, why don't we have those? Why aren't they mainstream yet? Because it takes a long time to get an infrastructure built that you need. You want to talk about a financial infrastructure? That's one you can't screw up, okay? You can't go, well, we're going to beta test our country's money. Yeah, that'll work. Broken Dolly, what kind of greens can you feed dogs in homemade pet food? Mine will not eat with green peas. Spinach is one of the absolute best to put in there. And again, if you're mixing, I did the video, 6 months ago, 9 months ago on dog food. There's a lot of things that you can give dogs. Peanut butter is a very good one. I've never in my life seen a dog that doesn't like peanut butter. Put a little bit of peanut butter in with anything, the dog will eat everything in there. Sweet potatoes, pumpkin, cranberries, blueberries, rice, obviously. If you've got any sort of meats, you're going to put something like that in there. That goes without saying. Kale is really good. Spinach is still my favorite to use. But yeah, because I know with ours, carrots. I mean, our two dog carrots are their snack. They know the word carrot. It's like you got a choice between a milk bone and a carrot. Daffy will pick the milk bone. Copper will pick the carrot. But yeah, if you're looking at greens, I would say go with kale, go with spinach, just mix it all in together. They'll scarf it down. Again, you're talking superfoods for the dogs or what you're feeding them. Big Dog Ma, can you pass me a beer? I need one after the wood's on fire last night. Yeah, I saw that. What was going on? Home brew. Czech Pilsner tonight. So, which is kind of funny because it's a little dark to be a Pilsner, but more like a lager, but it's still good. But yeah, after what you wrote on, I think it was in the comments of one of the videos today about the woods, yeah, that would freak me out too. So glad everybody's okay though. Miss T, what have I heard about the transportation strikes, railroads, UPS, and FedEx contractors? I haven't heard squat in the last couple of days about UPS and FedEx. Okay. I talked to the FedEx. Okay. You got to understand FedEx. This is what's going on with FedEx, at least right now. The overnight delivery guys, those are FedEx employees. The FedEx ground, which is a different division, those are the contractors. And they are having huge problems with the contractors. Okay, FedEx as a whole. That I do know. And I've got that. I've had huge problems with the contractors because they just like to throw the packages out at the street. They don't care. They won't bring them up to the house. I kid you not. I've had $1,500, my pond sealant. I think I told you guys this. I bought that $1,500 to buy the stuff to seal my pond. And the FedEx ground guy decided to leave it down by the street. He was too lazy to bring it up to the house. It was raining that day and everything was in cardboard boxes. Pond sealant water, yeah, guess what? I had nice blocks in there. It's like, hi, FedEx, you owe me $1,500. I can't say anything about UPS. I see the UPS guy all the time. He hasn't said anything about it. The railroads are a different story. The information I have, okay, from some of you guys that have given it to me, some of what I can find, some that I've got from other channel creators, or you guys probably saw, those of you that follow Patera, saw what she heard. But the latest I saw was a memo from one of the union chiefs that the two remaining unions that I was telling you about in the video the other day, they're digging their heels in. They're not putting up with what, BNSF or CSX or anybody's telling them to do. So if I had a guess, I would say the strike would happen, except the government may come in and throw another one of these 11th hour, you need to take another 30-day break from this or whatever, and force them back to work. Okay, they can do that. So we'll see what happens that way. But mind you, this has been going on for, 2.5, 3 years or something like that they've been negotiating this contract. It's not the guys want 50 cents more an hour or something like that. It's the guys want to be able to go to their mother's funeral. They want to not work 16-hour shifts, this sort of thing. And so what's going on right now is the railways have already started stopping the shipment of certain material, if you will, or whatever it was, because they don't want it to be halfway to wherever it's going before, and then all of a sudden at 12:01 on Friday, the strike happens and everybody says, okay, stop. And this shipment that's going from Chicago to Las Vegas to dump off nuclear waste is in Topeka, Kansas. And they go, whoop, we're not moving this. And so you've got all this radioactive waste just sitting on a train somewhere or something like that. I'm hypothetical. Okay. I'm just using that as an example. Okay. But yeah, same thing again. Let's just say it's food. You don't want a bunch of grain cars going and then they stop and then the grain just sits there on the train and rots for 2 weeks. So that is already in place. That's already being done. Is they're putting an embargo on some different products from being able to be shipped. Reloader, you should do a video on my thoughts of concealed carry insurance. I actually have concealed carry insurance, okay? And there's different companies that are out there. USCCA, I've got mine with CCW Safe. Personally, I think it's a good thing, okay? It's not that expensive. I don't remember what I spent for a year, but I mean, it was maybe $100. I don't even remember. I bought it in March, so it's not, that was the last time I had my renewal. I don't remember exactly the dollar figure, but it's worth it for peace of mind, because the last thing I want to have happen is something go down and all of a sudden I got to pay for an attorney that I can't. There's no way in the world I'm going to afford an attorney when there's a gun issue. And at least, through, like I said, I've got mine with CCW Safe. At least I know I've got $1 million worth of legal coverage, amongst other things. So, I mean, I know I'll have representation at that point. But yeah, worthwhile, definitely. Especially going into the chaos that we're in now. If this was peaceful and quiet and everything like we've been for, I don't know, 50 years, maybe not so much. But right now, where every day you're seeing stories of these whack jobs out there punching people, killing people, kidnapping kids, whatever it would be, damn straight, I'm not go anywhere. I mean, I don't want to go out in my yard without a piece in my pocket. Okay, so let's see where we got. Whoops, I just shot to the bottom again. I think it was Jennifer Combs says, what recipes does Mrs. P make with all these sweet potatoes? Actually, we just oven bake them, maybe sometimes with marshmallows, maybe not always put brown sugar on them. And then we just use it as a side dish for Thanksgiving with turkey, or side dish when we're having ham or something like that. I mean, it's not a staple around the house, okay? It's not, like Danny at Deep South Homestead said he eats sweet potatoes every day. I mean, I know, look at their videos, like, yeah, we harvested 300 pounds of sweet potatoes. I'm like, what the hell do you do with 300 pounds of sweet potatoes? We don't eat them that much. I mean, they're, what I can today, what I have 1 quart of sweet potatoes a month. Yeah, it'd be about what we eat, So now, in an SHTF situation, am I going to grow more? Oh, hell yeah, I will. Okay. But right now, I'm not interested in throwing food away or growing it just for the sake of growing it. So I grew what I knew we'd use. I'll grow it again next year. And depending on what happens in the springtime, when it comes time to, in January, when it comes time to start my slips, I'll know a little bit more what's going on. How many plants do I want to do? And by the time it comes to plant, I'll have 40, 50 slips. How many do I need to plant? Depending on situation of what I need to do. So again, it's a matter of your inventory. It's a matter of doing your forward planning on, okay, what do I need? And what your limitations. I mean, what kind of space do I have? Sure. I mean, I had 50, 60 slips this year. No big deal. I didn't have the garden space for it. I mean, I did, but I mean, if I planted 50, 60 slips, was I going to get rid of my corn, my regular potatoes, my beets, my tomatoes? No, I wanted all that too. So, garden planning is something that you've got to do over the winter. And it's more than sit down and go, well, I want to grow this, 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 and this. No, how much do I need? Where can I put it? I mean, there's a lot that goes into it every year. Joe Nokio's nose gets longer and longer. Yes, no kidding. Denise Wilson, what kind of straw did I use for the sweet potatoes? It kind of looked like pine straw. No, it was your regular straw that straw bale, like a hay bale. I just went to the local co-op, and where they got huge bales, square bales of straw. It's just your regular field straw. Kathleen, will I be able to use a pressure canner on a glass stovetop? Yes, but you can use it on a glass stovetop, no big deal. The only problem that I've heard, I've never had it because I can't stand an electric stove, is that you have issues with inconsistent heat with them. So, but yeah, depending on the glass stove, the stovetop you use, but yes, you can use it. Rooster, Pinball, let's get the pond guy. Tell me about it. I know he's around here every once in a while because he's got a property up top of the mountain, which is part of the reason I hired him. I figured, okay, my neighbor's not going to screw me. Stupid me. But yeah, I mean, he comes up here, it's like I will box him in and he won't get out. It's like, when the hell are you coming back? Because it's got to get done. And if he doesn't get it done, then the court's going to tell him to get it done, or he's going to write me a check. Because when the garage is finished and the excavator comes to backfill around the garage, if the pond isn't done, I'm having him do it, and then I am suing the other guy to do it. So that's just my plan. That's the time frame. Pinball, can you please post the name of the 120 watt solar panels? I will type it right down here. Okay, there's the name of it. You can go on Amazon. You can find them there. You will see them all the time on Amazon for $219. Do not pay $219 for them. About every other week, you will see them on sale for $159 or $169. Save yourselves $50 and just wait a few days for them to go on sale. They do it constantly. Don't pay full price. Jasper's mom, Pinball, you're 6'8" for Pete's sake. What do you need a ladder for? Well, considering peaks of roofs, so yes, but thanks. Let's see. All right, love to decorate. What do I think of the September 24th thing? I already talked about that. Tony Joy, I'm a door installer by trade. I live in your area. If you need it installed, I do so free. I don't know what the name, and I know Mountaintop Preps is watching the video, so maybe he even saw it. I don't know the name of the contractor who's got the garage door, but I believe it's the same company that is selling me the garage doors, installing it. So, but thank you for the offer. Hey, Alaska Prepper's in there. Good evening, sir. Let's see. And I know I'm probably long gone too. Maybe Rudy just popped in, but no. Good to see you in here, Rudy. Thanks for stopping by. Of course, I'm going through chat, and you probably posted it at 20 after, and I haven't got that far. So let's see. Okay. Another September 24th. Again, the guy could be blowing wind. I cannot verify anywhere else anybody has said on this. So it's just one German minister who's running his mouth. Who knows? It's a real strange thing to say, but who knows? I guess I'll make this point. If it was serious, you'd have probably heard it from A, more than one source, and B, the media'd be all over that, grilling him what's going on. And his party, the other politicians, would be like, what's going on? Unless this guy's a complete moron and let something slip he wasn't supposed to. And even then, where's the media putting the screws to the guy going, what do you know? What do I, that you just hinted at? Sorry. Teresa Rep, don't eat the Trump hat. Question, tile or shingle roof for the garage? Neither, metal. Couple of reasons for it. Put a metal roof on there. The house, we put a metal roof on the house too, while we were at it. The house had a shingle roof. It still does. It's underneath the metal roof. Roof didn't leak or anything like that, but shingle roof's usually good for 20 years tops. House is 11 years old. Okay. I'm 56. I don't feel like having to replace the roof when I'm 66. Not that I'm doing the labor, but I don't know what the world is going to look like at that. And it's not going to be cheaper 10 years from now. So that was it. So I figured, okay, if we're going to do, well, I got roofers out here to put a roof on the garage, might as well put a roof on the house. So we did that, and we went with a metal roof for a couple of reasons. First off, metal roof's got a 50-year warranty on it. Unless I live to be 106, it's my daughter's problem at that point. Okay. But the other thing is, there's also a little bit of prepper mentality in it. You can't throw a Molotov cocktail on the roof of my house and start the house on fire. You could with the shingle roof. You can't with a metal roof. So, a little bit of hiding in plain sight. Country Girl Prepper, there was a link for gold and silver shopping comparisons. If you could please share again. It's called, for silver, it is comparesilverprices.com. And for gold, it's comparegoldprices.com. And you go in there and you will see from SD Bullion and Money Metals and AppMex and all the different bullion dealers in there. So it's definitely where I tell anybody to start their shopping trip and see who's got the best price and see if they've got any inventory. If they don't, then go to the next one, blah, blah, blah. But that way it's all in one place and you can see the different comparisons, because while the price of silver or gold at any given moment is the same for everyone, the markups that they put on their coins or their rounds or their bars or whatever is going to be different. So, one place may put a $5 premium on it. The other one may have a sale of a $2.99 premium on it. I can save $2. I'm going to save $2. Greg McDonald, what will become of my Saturday Night Lives if you have to eat your fedora? That ain't the hat I'd eat. Trust me, that hat ain't, that one is protected. Let's see. Crazy Rabbit Lady, do I put all spent vegetation in my compost? Tomato, squash, broccoli, cauliflower, green beans. I put, David the Good, compost everything. Okay. I know there's people out there who say don't put potato plants in there. I put my potato plants in there. I put the sweet potatoes in there. I put my tomato plants in there. I put everything in there. I put the tomatoes in, the rotten tomatoes in there, or when we were pulling some the other day with some green tomatoes, they go in there. It'll all compost. I know what people say. It's like, oh, you don't want to put tomatoes in there because you can't kill a tomato seed and it'll grow. Fine, let it try. I put down weed barrier. It ain't growing through the weed barrier. It's okay, but the whole point is I want to get as much organic material as I can, and it will all decompose. It'll all turn into compost. So, I don't worry about what, I know everybody say, well, if you have blight on it, or if you've got powdery mildew on it. Okay, fortunately, it gets cold enough in this climate over the winter that's going to kill any of the powdery mildew. And I get my compost pile hot enough to kill any of the diseases that are in there. I've never had a problem with my compost. So, and I throw everything there, weeds, grass clippings, you name it. If banana peels, coffee grounds, whatever, if it's organic, it goes in my compost pile. Okay. Yeah, Texas Jan. Same thing happened to me. The FedEx guy left my Amex silver order down at the road. Yes, they did the same thing to me. And fortunately, I knew what was coming, and I was paying attention to it the day it was coming, and I saw a package delivered, and I ran down and got it. I was like, it ain't on my front porch. I know he screwed me again. And I was on the phone with FedEx raising hell. The week they screwed up my pond liner, I was on the phone with FedEx 3 times because they did it to me 3 times. FedEx is the post office is better run than FedEx. I'm just saying, okay? That's that tells you how screwed FedEx is. I would not use FedEx for anything. Ozark Mike, thank you for the super chat. One of the few level-headed people in all of YouTube. 95% of the time. There are times I go off on my rants. Love your brash humor and old sayings. We're a year apart, so I appreciate the gab from yesterday. You always make me laugh, even when serious. I appreciate the compliments, okay? And, you know, a lot of what we talk about is extremely serious. But you got to have a laugh in there, too, sometimes, you know? And the way I talk here is the way I talk in public. So, you know, the little one-liners and stuff like that, that's been me my entire life. So the ridiculous examples has been me my entire life. It's just something that works for me, you know, so I can get my point across with a ridiculous example rather than try to tiptoe around. John Poole, Pinball, I was trying to find out how you sealed your pond. Water soaks in mine. It's a product called Damit, D-A-M-I-T. It is a one-part product. There's another kind that's a two-part product, and I didn't want that because I don't want to be trying to measure. There's no way you're going to get it right because you spread it here and you spread it here, and it's not going to all go together. So I got the Damit. You can go look. There's plenty of YouTube videos online to show how it works. But I have not put it in yet because I can't get the pond dug correctly. But every example, individuals that I've seen have used it, videos again, all say this stuff is good. It's an Australian company. It's not made in China. So, you know, that was another plus. Jay Myers, heard FedEx and UPS are merging after the first of the year. What are they going to call it? Fed up? Really? So let's see. Wolf Fang, you're talking about the truck strike. It affects Amtrak. Oh yeah, it affects Amtrak. Amtrak, mind you this, guys, just in case you don't know, Amtrak does not own a single inch of rail at all. Amtrak is completely beholden to all the freight companies because the freight companies are the ones that own the rail. All right. So they actually have to pay, if you will, rent to use the railways. So yeah, if the freight companies strike, Amtrak's shut down. There he goes. Vicky Savage said the same thing. FedEx turns UPS fed up. Yep. Rooster, rail line holding hazmat, grains, refrigerator, cars starting tomorrow. Yes, exactly. Okay. Okay. Silver Possum, got my silver buffaloes yesterday. Love that jingle. Yes, there you go. Broken Dolly bought 50 pounds of whole corn and 50 pounds of mixed chicken feed. Both were infested with weevils. Have you guys noticed there seems to be a lot of that with agricultural products this year? I mean, how many of us said the seeds we bought weren't the seeds we wanted? Ozark Mike, thank you again. Appreciate the super chat greatly. But the seeds we wanted weren't. The stuff that you're getting is contaminated, it's rotten, it's spoiling, it's full of bugs, whatever would be. A lot of ag products like that this year. And I wish I had an answer why, but I think it's a lot of the fact that the ag companies, because last year was a crappy year for the ag business too. And they're scrambling just to get anything in people's hands. You know, it's not as good as we usually sell it, but at least it's something. Okay, whoops, we shot to the bottom again. There we go. Okay. Pam Fury says, look into starting seeds in milk or water containers. I mean, anything. I mean, and this is going to get real big as the world starts going even more in the toilet here. You know, yogurt cups, egg cartons, whatever would be, anything that you're starting your seeds in. You're going to have to get very, very, very creative with how you do things. It's not going to be, gee, I need some seed starting mix. Let me run to the store and go get some. No, there is no store to go get it. You're going to have to figure out how to make a lot of this stuff and use what you have. That's the one that's the biggest misnomer I see with a lot of preppers is they get addicted to buying everything. If I need it, I'll go buy it. You also need to learn how to make it, because when you can't buy it, it's either make it or do without. And there's a lot of things you can't do without. So, learning how to do some of this stuff with materials on hand that you can forage or that, you can find, again, think of how pioneers, when they got to, any country, if you will, how they started things out. Mike, what are you doing here? Thank you, but enough. Thank you. They had to figure out how to make stuff. Look at the American Indians. Okay, there wasn't a boat maker. Somebody had to figure out how to hollow out a log to make a canoe, to make a bow and arrow. They were living off the land. That's what you need to learn how to do, how to make some of this stuff. I'm not asking somebody to learn how to blow glass so you can make a drinking cup or whatever. But, how to fire pottery, that might not be a bad idea, because one resource you are going to have is clay. Okay. Can you turn that clay into a cup, a bowl, whatever it would be? Yeah. It's things like that that you're going to need to think about if we go completely upside down. Mama Preps 4, I use 2 canners on my glass stovetop with great success. Just check how much weight it can hold. There, yeah, okay. That makes a lot of sense. Let's see. A truck Campbell, do I have any sort of night vision? A very important prep. Yes, I do. I've got a night vision monocular. Black and white, obviously. It's certainly not military state of the art or something like that. I can't drop 20 grand on, if not more, on something like that. It's decent. It's a little awkward to use. I'd rather find a binocular type, maybe, depending on prices and stuff like that. I've got something that I can make do with, but again, this is what I've said from the beginning. I'd rather have you have something than I'm saving for it. I think it was Travis the other day said something like, he'd rather have you have one of those cheap little $99 guns than have a Glock on layaway. I agree with them. Okay, I'd rather have something that'll at least kind of do the job while you're trying to get the better one than just try to get the better one. Because again, we don't know if SHTF, full-blown SHTF, starts 5 minutes from now, and there is no time. Oh, gee, it's on layaway. Sorry. Tracy Mickle, pond guy's lack of work ethic is unacceptable. Tell me about it. Okay. The one thing that I've always been very proud of in my life, my entire career, was my work ethic. I was always the first one in the office. I was always the last one to go home. And I typically outproduced everybody I worked with. The majority of my career was in sales one way or the other. Okay. Whether it was being a broker or a recruiter. Okay. They're both sales type positions. Okay. And I outperformed everybody. And everybody always asks me, what are you doing that nobody else does? And I'm like, working. And that was the truth, but I'm finding very quickly that the work ethic of the majority of this country is crap. Oh my God, it's 8:59. First time I looked at the clock, we got 1 minute to go. All right, we're going to look for one more here. North Alabama hiking. Can I provide a link to Mountaintop's page? Can't seem to find it. You can't find it because they don't have a page. So if you did find it, you'd be doing really good. We'll try to find something else here real quick. Anna Johnson, have I ever tried Harbor Freight solar panels? No, I have not, but I've seen enough reviews on them that they're worth it. I mean, they're not great, but they do the job. So uh, I don't have any hard panels, and that's all you're going to get at Harbor Freight is hard panels. Uh, but if they work, they work. I mean, again, I don't need the Gucci panels. I need one that is going to fit my need and work for my application. And if Harbor Freight's the one that has it, great. If Home Depot's the one that has it, great. Okay. Whoever's got the product that fits my need is the one I'm going to buy from. Hopefully it's just not made in China, but in solar panels, good freaking luck. All right, guys, it's 9 o'clock. I'm assuming Jason is probably on this evening. Hopefully he's back from Iceland. So y'all have a good evening. We will see you in the morning and hopefully not with 6 videos tomorrow. Have a good one. Pinball out.